Howdy, Vine Trippers. I wanted to take just a moment before the show begins to tell you a little bit about the Texas Wine Lover website and app. It is a definite must-have for anyone wanting to explore the Texas wine industry. Now, they have a website. It's txwinelover.com, but they also have an app that you can actually download to your phone. You can find it on the Apple App Store or on the Google Play Store for Android devices. And it's going to be kind of your one-stop shop for when you go out to visit these great places. So you get to listen to them here on the podcast or watch them on YouTube to learn about these wineries. But when you go to visit, make sure you're checking out that app, because I'm sure you're probably going to want to visit other places in the area as well. And you can do incredible searches. It's the most comprehensive listing of winery information in Texas. And you can look for wineries in your area to go visit multiple places. You can sort those listings by finding out ones that are kid-friendly, maybe some that are pet-friendly. If you want to look for events or things that are going on, if you want to find those that can host RVs, just about any category you can think of, you can actually sort those listings and find wineries around you to go visit. The app is free to use for you and I. So it's a perfect, again, hand-in-hand tool when you're going out to visit wineries. Listen to them on this podcast, watch them on YouTube, and then start making your plans to go visit and use the Texas Wine Lover app when you go. Now, it can also be a great tool. Maybe you're not even looking for a winery. You just happen to be traveling to some place in Texas, and you just might think, I've got a little extra time. I wonder if there are any wineries in the area. You can actually look them up in the Texas Wine Lover app. You can search either by the name of a winery, or it's got a map view. So you can actually pull up a map of the area around you and see locations of wineries near you and go visit them and support the Texas wine industry. So you got to use the Texas Wine Lover app. It goes perfectly with this podcast. So make sure you check it out before you go on your next trip among the vines. Again, it's www.txwinelover.com, or look up the Texas Wine Lover app on your favorite phone app store and make sure you get that downloaded and use it frequently. You will benefit from it and ask for Texas wines. Let's see the Texas wine industry prosper and go visit some of these fun places that I'm bringing to you on the show. Texas Under Vine, an exploratory podcast to scout out the best that Texas wine country has to offer. I'm your wine guide, Scott, and I'm here to lead you on an auditory expedition to the vineyards and wineries across the great Lone Star State. Each episode will cover a different vineyard, winery, or wine-related business operating in Texas. You'll hear interviews, descriptions, and details about each location that will excite you to visit and experience them for yourself. Ready to plan a wine tour? Use these episodes to choose the most interesting spots for you and your friends to check out. Most of all, enjoy hearing about the rapidly growing wine industry in the state and what makes our wines and wineries the best. Howdy, fellow Vine Trippers. Welcome to episode 72 for the Texas Under Vine podcast. And for this particular episode, I found myself wandering back around the Central Texas region, my normal stomping grounds, and decided to head not too far out of Austin, actually kind of into the Austin suburbs to an area called Spicewood, and found myself wandering into a winery that a couple of my good friends have recommended to me called Five Soul Wine Company. Now, this winery was started just about 5 years ago, right in the midst of the big COVID pandemic, by a fellow named Shannon Grant. He and one of his childhood buddies, Chris Arnold, had this vision together of establishing a Napa-quality style winery, but nestled right in the suburbs of the Austin community, so it's very accessible. So following that dream, they decided to purchase this land in the Spicewood area. They began reaching out to a lot of their wine contacts and industry friends and things that they knew, the partners that they had, and then began building this tasting room that would then become Five Soul Wine Company there in Spicewood. And that current tasting room actually sits on an area a little bigger than 10 acres, actually, that also houses another business on site right next to the winery called Frontyard Brewing. And that has turned out to be a perfect partnership for the winery, as you can actually go back and forth if you want to get beer. They apparently make really good beer there at Frontyard Brewing. Heard high regards and remarks about it. So if someone in your party is craving something along those lines, they can go over to Frontyard, or those that want some wine can actually go to Five Souls. So it's a perfect partnership right there for anybody in your party who's going to be able to find hopefully something they will enjoy, a beverage that they'll enjoy and that they can share together. Now, their amenities don't stop there. On the actual property itself, they actually have 6 pickleball courts on site, as well as a wiffle ball and kickball field, and they love to have people come out and use those. As a matter of fact, they even have on Wednesdays and Thursdays pickleball leagues that come play there at the winery that you can get involved in if you're wanting to do that. But so that not everyone is left out, on those same days, they also host mahjong leagues that take place in the winery. So again, lots of games and fun things for everyone to get involved with. As for food, they have 2 food trucks on the property that you can actually order from and get your food from. One is a Neapolitan pizza offering. The other is more Americana, so burgers, sandwiches, things like that. In addition to the great wine that they serve there at Five Soul, they also make a few fun kind of cocktail drinks for other people that might want to enjoy. For instance, they have a Frozé on site, but not just any regular Frozé. They also make a couple of others. They make a Sangria Frozé as well, and they make a Peach Bellini Frozé. And apparently those are really popular as well among their clientele. But they also do mimosas, and they have a Blanc de Blanc, traditional method, sparkling wine from California. And for the mimosas, really cool, they take the orange juice and they freeze it into an ice cube, but the cube is in the shape of a rose. So you have this beautiful glass of sparkling wine with this floating ice cube that's a rose, that's the orange juice. So you get to enjoy a little bit of the wine, and as the orange juice melts slowly into the wine, it slowly gets to be more and more of the mimosa. So you get to enjoy some of the great wine, followed by the mimosa afterwards. Now, Chris was also telling me, and you hear about it in the interview, another one of their really popular drinks they have is something called Prosecco. And this is a Frozé, but they take a small bottle of Prosecco and open it and put it down in the top, like you might see Michelada or other types of fun drinks like that. But this is with Frozé and that little Prosecco bottle in it. Again, became very popular. They even had t-shirts made. Now, although the tasting room itself is really great for any types of weather, one of the things I really liked is they had on one side those big rolling doors that you could roll up, and you could open up some doors on the other side. So you get a lot of great breeze blowing in throughout the tasting room. So you could sit inside and still enjoy on a beautiful day like we had when I was there. We got to enjoy that great breeze blowing through as you enjoy your wine. But even if it's chilly outside, they also have some great fire pits on one side out there, where they were telling me that a lot of the customers love to get their wine and go sit out and hang out by the fire pits and enjoy the warmth from the fires. So no matter what time of year it is, you'll find a beautiful setting to enjoy your wine there at Five Soul. And in keeping with their theme of wanting to bring this premium Napa experience, but to more of the comfortable, relaxed suburbs of Austin, they're going to expand to a second location. So although this one is more southwest kind of area from Austin and the suburbs there, they're now looking to a similar type of experience up more in the northwest, actually not far from where I live. So I'm really excited about that, in the Leander and kind of Liberty Hill area, northwest of Austin. And in addition to that expansion that they're currently working on, they also told me they have another 10 acres still available at the current property for them to expand and add other things onto their current location down the road as well. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I went on a beautiful afternoon. The weather here in Austin had just begun to change. It was one of our first kind of cool fronts that came through to start shifting the weather from that baking heat that we always have to a nice cool breeze. And they were able to open up those side doors and get that nice breeze blowing through during our interview. And during the interview in the tasting room, I sat down with the owner, Shannon, and his director of operations there, Chris. And we were able to talk about all things Five Soul Wine Company, so their history, their wines, as well as the tasting room itself. So without further ado, I've given you enough preview. Let's go to that interview so you can hear directly from them. Howdy, Vine Trippers. Welcome to Five Soul Wine Company. So I'm here with Chris and Shannon, and we're going to talk a little bit about this location, get you filled in on all the details of this really cool location located out here in your Dripping Springs, and get you excited to come visit. So without further ado, let's turn our attention here. So I'll let either one of you go first. But tell me, Chris, Shannon, how did your wine journey begin? What got you started in this crazy industry?
Yeah, so I'll start. So I've been in the wine and spirits industry for 27 years. It's all I've ever done. Very large companies to small companies to entrepreneurial stuff. And we always thought, I love going out to Napa and visiting the wineries there. I love going out to Frontyard. And he just always thought, man, hey, if you could replicate that in that area that's close to us and go get a 2-hour experience rather than a full day experience, the cool thing. And so that's where it kind of began, the ideology of like, hey, let's have a suburban winery.
Yeah.
And so that's what you get.
Okay. Chris?
Well, listen, following Shannon's vision, he brought me in kind of a little bit after construction started. I have a kind of a variety of experiences manufacturing. So I've always been an operational guy. I've worked at big oil and gas companies. I've worked with overseas machining companies. I've always been sort of the bridge between, like, say, technical side, like engineering, and customer. So I've always been able to sort of communicate back and forth very well. And those skills that I gained throughout my life really lended to Shannon's need to have someone to put the technical pieces of the winemaking pieces together. I love working with winemakers or glass suppliers or cork suppliers. I love all the kind of geeky stuff. And so it was a perfect blending talents.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the bridge in between those things.
I could just think things up, but and also we grew up together. So we're
nice.
so old friends.
So he had this whole project and he kind of brought me in. Yeah. And I was a wine fan.
Yeah, aficionado.
But not an expert in any way whatsoever. And so coming into this industry, I was able to work with people who really taught me everything I know now. And then we kind of pride ourselves on our staff as being like kind of the anti-winery. In other words, like super casual, no reservations, like super approachable, but also super premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because it can be intimidating, like wine tasting and the notes and the complexity. And we try to remove all that sort of fear and sort of scared to ask questions. And we try to remove all that.
Or to expand your horizons by trying new things.
Absolutely. Yes, we think our wines are very approachable. And that's from the decisions we make on how do we age, how do we bottle, everything is just very, very approachable to the first-time wine drink. Yeah. As well as, the people who are fans. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like the passion side of it, it's like a split personality thing. So like in my day job, I'm, squeezing every dollar out of it. Yeah, within the wine life and doing the whole thing. For me, this place is very much what Chris says. Like, let's do things a little bit different. With making it approachable, let's make it a fun place. We're not a bit too sappy, but we're driven by friendship and culture. Wine for the soul is our slogan. And so we're trying to do things a little bit differently here. Yeah.
So you're the idea guy, and you're the one that has to figure out how to put the wheels on the car.
The more ideas I have, the harder it is life gets, for sure. Yeah. I figure out how to put it all together. Yeah.
Well, let's rewind for a second to, you told me earlier off camera that you've been around for about 5 years.
It's almost 5 years. Right on the color.
Right in the middle of COVID. Okay, well, let's talk about the history. How did it get started? And let's how the wheels get put on the car.
Yeah, no, we bought some land and we were
Here in Spicewood.
here in Spicewood. Yeah, and you know, it started small, like a lot of things, and we were like, hey, let's do a tasting room. And I have a wine contact. People will make wine. I can easily source wine, and let's again. The vision was like, let's bring Napa to the Spicewood, okay, and accessible. And it just kind of grew from there. It was like a lot of great people along the way, a lot of people with good intentions, and so it kind of grew from there. That 10 acres we're sitting on here, and it's it turned into something pretty special. Okay. Yeah.
And then I noticed there's also next door, there's like a brewery next door. Is that owned by you as well?
Well, we own the land. They're in separate operation. They brew great beer.
They have a very solid following.
Yeah. So they have a great brand, kind of cult like following. Frontyard Brewing. They did a very good job, and so we always joke that when families walk into the entrance, like they go separate directions.
Slowly party.
Yeah, definitely, and very family friendly. There's a lot of young families in this area, and so it works out well. Yeah, good perch.
In addition to that, would kind of share the load. I mean, so you've seen out here, you've probably seen on camera, but we have 6 pickleball courts, which is not our main business. It's kind of an amenity. But so I operate Five Soul Wine Co. as well as the sort of pickleball program, which is super popular. We have leagues Wednesdays and Thursdays all year round. We do these like kind of themes, tournaments and stuff. And then Frontyard Brewing over there runs the food trucks.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw those, but there's 2 food trucks. One's a Neapolitan. It's an old army truck that was converted into a Neapolitan pizza truck. And then they also operate another sort of Americana burger, sandwiches, thanks for kids, fries, grilled cheese, whatever, that sort of stuff. So between the 2 operations, the venue pretty much offers something for everybody. We've got a wiffle ball, kickball field out here. We've got things for kids to play on. It's very pet friendly. It's very kid friendly. It's very family friendly. We wanted to create the kind of place where you can create memories. Yeah. And so with people around here, they have family come in town for, say, Thanksgiving or Christmas. We want to be the first place they bring them to it. Oftentimes we are.
Yeah. Well, having 10 acres definitely gives you lots of room to add those amenities.
No, it's gorgeous too. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and it's very well manicured and beautiful, and the tasting room itself is just so
that's
well
my part-time
decorated.
job is the groundskeeper. Yeah. Yeah.
Another one of those ways you keep the wheel on the
I
car.
wear about 5 hats, yeah.
Well, tell me about the name, Five Soul Wine Company. Where did that come from?
Yeah, it's kind of double entendre. So I'm thinking like numerology.
Okay.
And the number 5 is freedom, adventure, adaptability, and change. It stands for. And so like the last 2 of those, like I really eager, like adaptability, change. Like I'm the big believer in evolving, as a person, as a society, as people. And then also a business partner of mine, Kelly Carson. Like we have 5 our kids combined, and so it's kind of a homage to the tip of the hat, yeah. So kind of double meeting. And soul, like our slogan is wine from soul. Like really a true believer in that. Like good people, good conversation, and wine fuels that. It's good through your soul. So yeah.
Okay. And I love the logo. I see it on your shirt and on the bottles. This I can see it's got the 5, the S. What does the I in there symbolize?
It was always, we had a great marketer that helped us come up with this. Like there was always this.
Bo Morrow at Left Hand Design. Yeah, gotta go shout out to him.
Okay.
Yeah, he with all the branding and all the packaging we've done over the 5 years, like he's been critical. He and I work very closely together. And
we grew up sort of believing that we can skip it a kiki, but like keep an eye on things and have third eye, good at doing things and understanding things, and so that's where I kind of like it. Yeah,
that's a beautiful logo and beautiful bottle. All right, well, let's talk about then the wines themselves. So we talked a little bit about the location here and you guys, your history. Let's talk about the wines. So where do you source your fruit from?
We wanted to bring great wine to Spicewood, Texas. Yeah. That's our journey. We're not going to define it year to year, vintage to vintage, but we believe in partnerships for sure. And I have all my contacts in the wine industry, and we've partnered with Untamed Winery up for Napa. Yeah, so unbelievable winemaker. Dane out there is
From South Africa.
yes, we worked for some of the same companies, and I know of him. He knows of me. And he's doing things the right way. And so he goes out to California every year, every vintage, and buys fruit.
Okay.
And so we partnered with them, and it's, they'll load in 18-wheeler, freeze the apes, drive it back to Frontyard. And so we sort of tack on to his order.
Okay.
And every year it's a little bit different. He does Central Coast, he does Monterey, he does Napa, he does it all. The Rush River Valley. So it gives us we're quasi winemakers and we're just shoppers.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. We partner with him. He buys the fruit. He creates a French Tour, ferments, ages, bottles in French Tour.
Yeah.
And so all these are don't get a fashion. Yeah.
So he's custom crushing for you guys there at Untamed.
It's absolutely, yeah. And we're proud of it. We're proud to be associated with him and his winery, same vision. Great people. So what's that very well? I don't know if you want to.
Well, no, I mean, I can't say enough about Dane. I mean, he and his wife, as you may know, run that operation. And she's Guinness. So
I didn't know that.
if I'm not mistaken, when they opened up about 6 months after us.
Okay.
So we had a similar journey coming out of COVID, and I sort of came across Dane randomly and started learning about his story. And it really was random, but I ended up at that winery that day. And I was talking to the guy who was serving, and they were all California grapes, which we were already doing, but we were doing sort of packaged in California. So we were a little bit separate. Okay. So I was like, hey, Shannon, we got to go talk to this guy. He's doing what we're trying to do, but right here. Yeah. So I was like, let's hybridize our model. Let's get the grapes and the varietals that we want that you can't really grow well in Texas, right? And let's use this guy's expertise.
Okay.
And then as I came to know him a little bit better, his wife, Mackenzie, she's a chemist. So I think they may be the first laboratory. And I think they're testing wines for like 180 wineries now in Fredericksburg. So they kind of changed the industry over there. We met as he was expanding his refrigerated sort of the AG warehouse. I think we took up 30% of his capacity like immediately. So it was a perfect partnership. And I've learned so much from Dana. He's so generous with information and knowledge. And for me to be, because I love the technical side of it, for me to be working with 5 suppliers in Italy and cork suppliers from Portugal and screen printers in California, and then being able to go down. I've always been a shop rat. I'm like 1 foot in the shop, 1 foot in the office. And to be able to go down there and help him with the crush or help get on the bottling line with his family, which like many wineries, the bottling day is like a family affair. Everybody just sort of pitches in, and it's really cool. It's been a great experience for me. I brought Hannah, our front of the house manager, down there. She loves it. We've got great footage. I mean, it's really his memories. I can't wait until January, February, so me and Hannah can go down there and just volunteer for a day at Bottle Some Wine Days, because he's created something super special, and we're fortunate to be partners with him in a reflection on wine, which is he's a purist. I mean, these wines are 100% varietal, no blend offs, no sugar added, and I mean, you couldn't get any more of a reflection of the grape in the bottle than I think Dane does, and that's why we like.
Yeah, and him and I share a little spirit. He works for some very big wine companies, felt by, and so a little bit a rebellious sort of attitude that breeds Untamed.
Okay.
And a little bit of like, we're gonna do things the right way. We're not gonna cheat on the wine. We're gonna do it the right way. So yeah, he's legitimate to sure. He's one of that'll line up with other.
Very similar philosophies, and I mean, it seems like that perfect partnership. And he's got that eye for grapefruit out there. So,
he's got the relationships. He, like many wineries, he's pre-leasing, certain lots of land on certain sides, the leeward side of the mountain. Like that's beyond our expertise. We'll leave that today. We'll just trust him. And for example, we always did a kind of a Provence style rosé, which is a Grenache with a blend off, about 88% dry, light dry, very dry. And he talked us into doing our rosé out of Pinot. So our rosé is actually made with the same grapes that our Pinot Noir is, which is quite unique.
yeah.
And he talked us into it. We just trusted him, and it's been a fan favorite. I mean, not only with staff, but also with the customers, especially the summer months, obviously. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool.
So he's led us in certain directions, which we normally wouldn't have gone. We've always wanted to have those core varietals, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir, Cabernet, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and that we added this 2022 grapes. We added a Pinot Grigio, which is very light, crisp in the summer, very approachable for non-wine drinkers. And, we've worked together. It's a person. I could be a little bit closer, but we get the grapes that we want. And I mean, he's 45 minutes from here, and we're right on the edge of Lake Travis. So we have that sort of Lake Travis community culture, the boat culture, the lake culture, the hill country. It's a wonderful sort of melting pot.
As it all blends in together here. Well, what are some of your favorite wines personally?
I like to say it's like asking, who's your favorite character? You can't answer.
Yeah.
I'm a moody guy. He had a weather guy. So I go with that for sure. Like I'm looking forward to the weather changing here and getting into the reds. Yeah, for sure. But I think our Sauvignon Blanc's really, really good.
Oh, it's got a great house.
Pinot Noir is amazing.
Well, that's my favorite. And the reason, I guess I'm a little bit closer to it than obviously the consumer that gets out the bottle. But so when he ages it, we do very kind of minimal aging in neutral oak because we want it to be very drinkable to non-wine enthusiasts.
Very approachable.
Yeah, absolutely. We want it to be that's something that's super approachable. It doesn't turn off people that are new to wine because it has too much tannin or something, right? So the reds we do 18 months in neutral oak, and the Pinot Noir. He actually takes 3 like classic 70s California strains, right? And so he ages them separately. So when we go down there and do barrel tastings, this one's got a little white pepper, this one's got a little sweet, this one's got a little something else. And then, I taste that and the final product puts it back together. And it's like, for me, that Pinot Noir is like, at the same time, super simple, it's super complex. And it's just great. It's just great to sit out, especially when the weather turns. You have to wear a sweatshirt. You're sitting out on the patio. We got fire pits out here to drink a little Pinot Noir. It's just,
it's real Pinot too. It has like, I think Pinot these days is turning into like a red wine, very sweet. There's a lot of fruit bombs out there. This is none of that. This is like a real, pretty Pinot.
And it's got those melding, emerging, each of those different clones together, the things they bring to it. That's cool. Well, what are some of your hot wines with customers? What are the ones that you just have a hard time keeping going because everybody's just buying them all the time?
You'll see some as well. It's very seasonal. I'm sure like many wineries out here in Texas. I mean, in the summer, the Sauvignon Blanc and the Rosé is flying, right? And then as it gets a little bit colder, it's the Pinot and the Cabernet, which is very, very good.
We have these big fire pits out here, and it gets cold. People just load up on res and sit out there.
Super right up. So definitely spring, summer. We got 3 whites. We got a rosé.
Yeah.
And then going into the fall, which those are our 2 big seasons, just spring and the fall, honestly. In Texas, people don't leave their house in the summer. They just sit by their pool, which is understandable. I would do the same thing if I could.
They leave their house to go to Colorado.
Yeah. But our wine throughput is very sort of predictable due to the season. But I would say our biggest sellers are Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet. Okay. Because they're just spot on. They're not sweet, they're not dry, they're like right there in the spot. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Representations.
Oh, 100%.
Varietals.
Yeah.
Love Frozé. He's a
you do a Frozé, huh?
We like to pride ourselves that like we make Frozé with quality wine.
Well, that's the trick.
Yeah.
Good wine as the place. And look in the summary. So we do about 3 different flavors of Frozés. So we make one of the Rosé, obviously. Like if I stopped making that, there would be a mob of angry consumers with pitchforks out here because it's so popular. But we do a sangria with a Pinot Noir first. And then I play around with the Sauvignon Blanc. I'll do like the Paloma. I'll do a lemon drop. I'll do a citrus, I'll do, right now I got peach Fellini going on, which, you might not think it, but we post on our social media like, hey, Bellini's back. Did people come here just for this, for that? Yeah, we also have a lot of fun with like our mimosas. We have
we were sparkling like big people. We private label out of Heldsburg, which most people do because it's a different process. But we have a beautiful that block the block. Block to block this is about a fifth what we've done. We did Sonoma Coast, we did Napa. This one's a California blend, and it's actually the fan favorite with the staff as well as the customer.
Oh wow, okay.
It's just so well rounded. And we do our mimosas. We freeze these little roses out of the juice. So you got an orange juice rose in your mimosa. So it slowly melts out. It's like, say what you want about mimosas, but they really is too good of a wine to pour juice into. So we found a way to give people what they want. And the funnest treat we actually do, which I think is one of our signature drinks, is we do a Prosecco, which is a Frozé with a little bottle of Prosecco stuck inside and upside down. Yeah. Kind of like that margarita.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was so popular this summer. Actually, I made T-shirts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I know that a lot of times good wine makes a really important difference in all of that. I remember when I was younger, one of the best pieces of advice I gave when it came to cooking with wine, you get all these people who sometimes you get a bottle that maybe is not the best for drinking. Oh, well, cook with that. And somebody told me, no, if it's not good enough to drink, it's not good enough to cook with. You're still, so good wine is the basis for everything. And so
it's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then on the flip side, it's good grapes.
Yeah, exactly.
Starts in the vineyard, right? Yeah, it's all about the fruit.
I'll show you some pictures later. Dane only does hand-picked grapes. Okay, so this whole vintage 2022, our 6-bottle collection is all from our. He branches out a little bit. When he does more of a premium wine, maybe a Russian River, he keeps a closer eye on the markets. Yes, whereas we kind of just sort of outsource the expertise to Dane because why would we can only mess it up, right? It kind of comes through in the product, and our motto is one, say yes. So if people want a Frozé or they want a mimosa, the answer is yes. Okay. We also are premium but not pretentious, right? Super casual, sort of beer garden type atmosphere, very expansive grounds. A lot of
when we were forming this idea of doing this, we went out to Napa, and we were taking notes. You go out there and they're like, we couldn't get anything.
Okay.
They're like, oh, your reservation space. So we were there to we were like, no, what did I do? The opposite. And you go, you can sit down wherever you want. Okay. But we joke about this slogan, pinkies down. He's on, be like, enjoy great wine, but without the
pretentiousness, right?
Yeah.
Or, the exclusivity, we removed everything that sort of annoyed us about wineries.
Yeah.
In one location.
And I think we were successful in doing that. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that, I'm a born and raised Austinite. So living here all of my life, I think that fits in with kind of the Austin culture, right? Sure. We want to go to the fancy dinners wearing shorts and flip-flops and make it relaxed and comfortable and, less pretentious. So
yeah, it's great theme. And there's there's ton of money here, but you wouldn't know exactly, right? We love that.
The millionaires next door wearing their jeans and their T-shirts,
Well, tell me a little bit about some of the things that you have here. We talked a little bit for a second ago about the pickleball courts. Do you do kind of different kinds of events and things like that to draw people in?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a flex space. I mean, we've done everything from a rehearsal dinner for casual rehearsal dinner. We'll rent out our entire inside space, but we'll leave one door open for sort of bar service over there. Our service model is actually at the bar. We don't run around and try to talk over you and tell you about the notes. We have a flight, which you'll see shortly. Our rule is tasting notes are 1 sentence, 2 max. Okay, so super sentence, which makes it great to bring in employees or part-time staff that are not necessarily experienced in the wine culture, but they want to learn. Yeah, you know what I mean? So we just get very approachable, very casual, very, very positive vibe, positive music. We got Willie Nelson on the wall. We got Biggie Smalls on the wall. We got Bruce Lee over here. It's kind of an eclectic sort of mix. And I think our customers appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Well, let's talk for a second about the tasting. So you mentioned it a second ago. Let's say a listener or viewer is getting excited to come in now. They want to come check this place out. So let's let them know a little bit of what to expect when they come in for a tasting. So if somebody comes in, they want to do a tasting of your wines. What does that cost? Does the customer pick the wine? Do you pick the wines? Do they need reservations? What are the details on what tasting might look like?
You never need reservations here. I mean, our place is huge. So bring it on. We always got space for you. Typically, if people are wanting a glass of wine, you let them taste whatever they want before they're okay. Well, yeah. So we'll give them a little sample, make sure they get the one they want. If they want to try all of them, say for these 6, the Monterey collection there, we have a flight, kind of like it's a flight board. It's a little piece of paper that's kind of self-guided wine tour. Okay. So it's 3 whites, a rosé, and 2 reds. So we typically throw in a little bit of our sparkling or frosé. It's just a little bonus. Yeah. And that goes, I think we sell that for $38, but it's actually, I think we do like 3-ounce pours for those 6. So it's perfect to share. A lot of people share because you may or may not be known for heavy pours here. That's just part of our culture. But yeah, we don't believe in. We think there's 3. No, there's 3 glasses in a bottle.
Exactly. I hear you.
Go ahead and end it. Yeah. And that way, the consumer, the customer, who hopefully we get to know, gets to guide themselves at their pace. Okay. And if they have any questions, myself or Hannah or Kimberly or Heather, the crew here at the front of the house is more than happy to answer any of those questions. But we don't, it's what you want. We're in the yes business.
All right. I love it. What are your operating hours?
So Wednesdays and Thursdays, we open at 4. Okay. Till 9. We close at 9 every night. So we're not a late night kind of our destination. As you can see, we're kind of in suburbia, Spicewood, right next to Rough Hollow and Lake Travis. A lot of schools around here. And then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's the same operating hours as the brewery. We open at 11 and we close at 9 p.m. Okay. So weekends are very heavy here. Sure. Wednesdays and Thursdays, we do mahjong leagues in here, or we do pickleball leagues out there. So during the midweek is very, very busy out. And they're very, very popular. The weekends, people just come out for the day and bring family. They camp out. Yeah.
Excellent. What about, and that brings up the next question. So you already talked about the family-friendly, kids, dogs. I know there's a winery dog roaming around here somewhere.
Out here below.
There you go. Underneath this.
Yeah, our very family's it's just there we're at. It's all young families. And so, yeah, there's kids running around here. We have kids games.
Okay.
Got a purple football field. And but we want to be a mix, like where you come. And we always thought that, for me, like I, of course, enjoy wine, but like I just doing more than just sitting around. I like to be active. And so that's where the pickleball thing is inspired. Kids are very active out here. So yeah, it's a suburban sort of winery, if you will. Yeah, that's the vision. We'll go from there. Yeah, go from there.
Outside of those pickleball leagues, can anybody just reserve and go play?
It's a very self-managed app. What's that app called? Reserve.
Okay.
It's an app that a lot of tennis places use for its same purpose, reserving courts. Yeah. So people can create a registration online or on their app, and they put a minimal amount of information. Then they can see our 6 courts, and they can actually sort of reserve which court they want for what time. And obviously, we help them through that if they need help here on site. Sure. But you can make reservations a week ahead of time or same day. It doesn't matter. It's very free flow. It's actually been surprisingly, obviously, everybody knows pickleball is super popular. You see these spots sort of popping up and also closing down. We're kind of special because it's not our core business. The winery is our core business. Sure. But because of the people that we have directing that sort of pickleball operation, first it was Daryl and Maury, and they were with us for almost 5 years. Yeah, we thought we were so lucky to have them. They built our lead program. Okay. And then they recently stepped away to actually retire. And then, we got Curie now, who is just so focused on getting people. She does drills, she does clinics, she does leagues, she does little Halloween tournaments. And, it's really about the people you bring on. Our wine is great. I can say that without reservation, but what makes us really special is the people that work here. Yeah. So myself, Shannon, his wife, Danielle, Kelly, Heather, Hannah, Kimberly, and Kiri on the pickleball side. It's such a great team. We run super lean, but I don't think we've ever had one bad service day in 5 years. Yeah, I could probably say that again.
Well, you mentioned earlier the food trucks that you have out there. So are those the food options for people that they can?
Yeah. So you'll bring food on site as a typical venue policy. Right. but there's plenty to offer. And I don't want to speak for Frontyard Brewing, but they operate both of the food trucks out here. They're Corey, who's the chef over there. His Neapolitan pizzas are awesome, but so are his burgers.
Yeah.
Like he's a really passionate guy. He's become a great friend of mine, and we work very, very closely, our team and theirs, to make sure the customer gets what they want. Yeah. So it's a little bit for everybody.
And can they get food there and bring it in here?
Oh,
to
absolutely.
eat?
Okay. There's no rules. No rules. So we don't say no.
Yeah, you say yes. That you gotta.
We're not on the no business. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very free flow of beer and wine customers back and forth. Okay. And so a lot of times, I mean, I don't want to stereotype or whatever, but the hospital don't get a beer. But the wife will come get them on my son, and I'll sit in here and so you enjoy it together. Share that. Okay. Yeah. It's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a unique spot.
Great options for anybody in your party who wants to come.
We think so.
On that line, do you have any maximum group sizes? Like big group of 30 wants to come in or things like that?
So Saturday night, just passed, we had a group of 84 people who rented out. They rented out our whole patio here. Okay. And it was a wedding, a party, but it was a pre-party for the wedding. And, we're very reasonable on our venue fees. So oftentimes if it's like, a table of 8 or 10 or 12 or something like that, all it is a bottle minimum. Okay. They could do whatever they want. Yeah. Sometimes if we close off this room, a very reasonable, sort of event fee, with that instead of a minimum purchase, and we call them city private. We don't really close down the venue or the tasting room entirely, but we block it off and make it that space special to them. And my team, Heather and Hannah, are so critical in making that experience for the customers what they want. Yeah, we're building memories here. That's our business. Yeah.
I'm like, you're getting from experience when you walk up to your favorite place and it's closed down. You're like,
right.
So we're, again, no rules. We're just trying to free range. Yeah.
Yeah. Free range wine.
That's right.
You kind of touched on this already a second ago, but I want to dive back into it real quickly. What are your busier and slower times? What's the best time for somebody to come visit?
Well, it's like weather. So
weather-based.
Yeah, so fall and spring. Yeah. Like I would encourage, like if it's anywhere between 60 and 80 degrees, it's going to be apt out here. With fire pits too, like the sun goes down, it gets you chilly. Like that's going to be my favorite time to pepper. Yeah. I sit out there all the time. It's spring is way, but all the spring rain, during all that, it's such a big day for us. So yeah, until you enjoy the weather, it's how we come every far.
And I can see that from just today. I mean, this is one of our first real weather changing kind of days. And you got these great little side doors here that you can roll up doors to open it up. And over here, slide doors open. And you can feel that breeze flowing through here. I mean, it's just, I haven't even have wine in front of me yet. And I'm just already so relaxed. And it's just, I can definitely feel how that would be a perfect time to come visit when that weather is beautiful outside. Well, do you offer a wine club?
We do. Well, tell me about it. So, like everything else, it's a little bit playful. We do 6 or 12 bottles of porter. Okay, 6 bottles of porter is called the no-brainer, right? 12 bottles of porter is called the no worries.
Okay.
So, like many wineries, like the 6 bottle tier gets 20% off all wine all the time, right? Outside to go and with their allocation. It's very customer facing. In other words, they can log into our website online and pick 6 of the same box. Yeah. So we don't choose for them. They choose. It's very easy for the consumer to say, hey, I like this one. I like this one. I want all sparkly. I want all Pinot. I want all cab, or I want to mix. So our default sort of wine offering for that club tier is one of each of the 6, but they can customize it at any time. Okay. And then, of course, with the 12 bottles of porter, you get 25% off any wine, anytime. In addition to that, we give those wine club members free pickleball court hours. Oh, yeah. So with the 6 bottle tier, you get 4 free hours of pickleball a month. And honestly, over the 12, you get 8 hours.
Okay.
And if you play that much pickle, you're either getting the pickleball or the wine. Or if you're buying a Frozé, you get 25% off. Yeah. Okay. But either way, no brainer. Yeah, you're getting one. If you join that club and you play that much pickle, you're getting one for free. Lots of it. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what's called the no-brainer.
I love that. So let's say that a listener or viewer is getting excited. They're like, I've got to go check this place out. But maybe they live, because I've got people not only all over Texas, but all over the country. If they can't necessarily get here very soon, is there a way that they can taste your wine without having to travel here? So in other words, do you sell on your website, do you distribution of any kind, things like that?
We had e-commerce for sure. Okay. Ship bottles, you could buy online.
Okay.
And you're sparking my interest. We don't say no to anything. So if ever wants to do and try the all wine, you happily ship a bottle.
Okay.
We had expansion plans. That might have been one of your questions. So we're in the process of developing out of Liberty Hill, the area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Over your backyard.
Yeah.
You know, so again, the same vision of like, we want to bring Napa-quality tasting room and wines.
Okay.
So we'll keep going with that. But yeah, by all means, if you were wines online, then
Okay.
we'd love for that for Stroll. Yeah.
And sometimes that might be a way that people get to taste and go, okay, now I really got to be there, because I've tasted these great wines. Well, and that leads me perfectly to the next question for plans for future growth.
Yeah,
or
number
things
2
that
is
you wanna
coming.
do.
So hopefully, we're in the process of gaining permits up there. That whole northwest Austin is exploding. Yeah, exactly. Sort of like we think for ourselves, like we want to be on the edge of the suburb, right? Yeah, it's where the sprawl is happening, but just a little bit out, just like Spicewood. The Liberty Hill is very similar to that. Yeah, great demographic, great people out there, and we're gonna have number 2 out there, and then yeah. So yeah, it's exciting. What I say? Yeah.
What about expansion here on this location? Are you planning on doing anything else new here? Or
We're always thinking. I'm a tinkerer, so tinker a little bit too much. I'm an idea guy. So like we think about food a lot. Okay, and let's feature food out here because Spicewood in general is underserved. So yeah, expect more to come.
Okay.
That. We also own the 10 acres across the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we think about that all the time down there. Room to grow for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for me, it's it's always been a passion project. Like,
Yeah.
we're making it like I have corporate job as well, and I'll satisfied outside of me with that. For this more like Chris was saying, it's like it's okay. How do we make this a special place? That's what it is.
Well, and to come back full circle to the number 5, which means adaptability and change and constantly.
The only thing
moving
moving forward
forward.
is change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it too is change.
Well, listeners, if you got to watch the website, and once that Leander Liberty Hill location opens, now you got to hit me up and I'll come visit you out there. We'll come have a glass of wine together at the one out by my hometown. All right. Well, there are a lot of great places in Texas that people can go to drink wine, and Five Soul Wine Company here in Spicewood being one of those. So what in your opinion do you think, and I'd like to hear from both of you too, is what thing that separates Five Soul Wine Company that my listeners and watchers have to say, I got to move that up on my list and get there as soon as I can?
Yeah, I think it ties directly to the our vision of opening this place, right? It's like it's geography. Like I love to go to Fredericksburg. I love to go to Napa. I go to Napa twice a year, and I go to Fredericksburg 3 times a year, whatever it is. It's a thing. It's a whole day. It's a whole weekend. So for us, it's like if you live in the Austin area and you want to spend 2 or 3 hours, not 10.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
Okay.
And so that's what it is. It's great wine and Napa-like experience. And then we talked a lot about no contention, no rule. Like you don't have to make a reservation. It's easy. And so that's the difference. And I love different for wineries. I love Woodgrass. I love like Pinot. I love Slates there. I love doing.
Yeah.
But I do it through types of wrap. And so if you have 3 hours on a sourberry, that's what it is. This is your place. Yeah. So.
Chris, what are your thoughts on it?
For me, I mean, the most special piece of this entire operation is our employees. And I believe a company is as good as you treat your employees. I really believe that. We've all had jobs that maybe we didn't like in the past, right? I've got a small team here. I'm so lucky to have the team that I have. And that is expressed in their their communications, their interactions with the customer.
Okay.
So I can proudly say that every single customer that walks in this door is welcome with open arms. And whether you're a wine enthusiast or somebody who's new to wine, you're going to be treated with a really friendly, hospitable attitude and a fun experience. And we want you to come back, and we want you to bring your family, and we want you to talk about it. Our foot traffic really, at the end of the day, has been word of mouth from day one.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to really go out there and do a lot of advertising and stuff, because people who come out here, like you, for example, your friends, this is my favorite place to go.
Chardonnay.
Yeah. They get it. Yeah. Shout out. And if I can, at the end of the day, provide my team, Hannah's team, with the tools and the facilities they need to provide you, the consumer, with what you want, it's a success.
Excellent.
Yeah, it sells itself. And again, we've got premium California grapes with Texas winemaking. I mean, I don't know how many hybrid kind of models there are out there, but I think we nailed it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Now, they do have a beautiful but unique type of location, almost in the shadow of the Austin skyline, but right there near the lake, just right in those beautiful suburbs there in Spicewood. And their staff is knowledgeable and eager to pour wine in your glass when you go to visit. Now, don't forget, make sure and check out their website before you go. The web address, as you can see down below, is the number 5, soul, S-O-U-L, wine.com. And when you go to that website, you're going to find more information about what to expect when you go to visit, and you can read more about their story there on their website. And you can find out more about those cool wines that they are making and serving, and even buy them right there online. And lastly, you'll also find information like their event calendar, things that they've got going on. You'll find information about their wine club and how to join their wine club. And also, importantly, the information about the pickleball courts and how you can go about reserving those and getting set up to play pickleball there if that's your thing. And don't forget, when you go to see them, make sure you tell them you heard about them on this podcast, Texas Under Vine. Now, after we wrapped up the interview, I was able to head up to the bar, and Chris was able to set me up with some of those great wines, that flight that we talked about in the interview of all those different wines, where I was able to go through and sample each one. He even poured me a few extras like he mentioned in the interview, so I got to try that sparkling Blanc de Blanc. I got to try the Frozé. So it was fun to be able to see and sample multiple wines and to taste these great wines made with that excellent California fruit, but made here with the Texas winemaking experience. Now, make no mistake, these wines were definitely high quality wines. That beautiful California fruit was delicately picked and hand chosen just for these wines. And they were handcrafted and made with care in the Texas Hill Country by a knowledgeable winemaker for great flavor and complexity. I really did enjoy their full array of all of the wines and really liked their unique bottles and their screen printed labels that they have on those bottles. It's very different from a lot of the typical wine bottles you normally see. And when it came time to choose my favorite, I had to choose this 2022 Pinot Grigio. Now, this is from Monterey, California. It was crisp, it was balanced, it had great acidity to this wine, as you might expect from a Pinot Grigio. Very light and delicate. The flavors themselves had the expected citrus, but there was some floral elements that came through, and even some ripeness from some peach and apricot flavors kicking in just a little bit on this Pinot Grigio. Very easy to sip and drink on, especially on a beautiful summer day, and I really loved it. So that's the one I decided to make my own and make the wine library bottle for this episode. As you can see, these are their cool bottles with that screen printed label information on the bottle themselves. Really fun wine. So I was able to bring that one home with me. You'll have to make sure you try that one when you go. All right. Now, I really enjoyed this location, and I want to give great credit to my friends Blake and Chardonnay for sending me to this fun location, even though they couldn't join me while I was there. And I can't wait until they do open up that second location really near my home, where then I can have them come out and join me for a glass there. But alas, all good things must come to an end, and it's time for me to move along and check out other great Texas wine destinations. Before I go, however, I would love for you to do me a favor for this podcast. If you are listening and enjoying this content, whether you're listening to it on the audio or whether you're watching the video there on my YouTube channel, either way, if you are enjoying it, would you be willing to give me a rating and review wherever you get the podcast? If that's YouTube, you could just like the video, subscribe to the channel. But if you're on a podcast service like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or something like that, if you would go in and be willing to rate that podcast, give it a review. I haven't had a rating and a review in a while, and it really does help get the podcast up in the listings a little bit to other people to see it, so other people can learn about the great wine destinations we have here in our state, and it's free for you to be able to do that for me. Thank you. And again, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, go down below, like, follow, and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. If you've been to Five Soul Wine Company, tell me what's your favorite thing about this location. But if you haven't been yet, but you're now excited to go, whether it's for pickleball or something else, make sure and leave a comment down there. Tell me what you're most excited about when you do go visit them. And with that, my time is up. So don't forget, subscribe to the podcast and follow my socials to be notified anytime a new episode is released. And until then, happy trails and bottoms up, y'all.
Thanks for listening to Texas Under Vine. We strive to provide you with the best information about wine businesses all over Texas. Be sure to check out our website at texasundervine.com and follow us on our socials at Texas Under Vine to stay up on all the upcoming episodes. Please email us with any suggestions or feedback. Also, contact us if you're interested in donating, sponsoring, or advertising on the podcast, just to help us cover our expenses and bring even more great info to you in future episodes. Above all, travel safely, and most especially, drink responsibly.
Howdy, Vine Trippers. Before we go, I wanted to direct you to my website, www.texasundervine, because there you're going to find a whole host of things. Besides access to the audio versions and the video versions of the podcast, you can also get those on any podcast provider and then the video on YouTube. But there you're going to find a couple of things. Did you know that I actually sold some Texas Under Vine merchandise? I only have a handful of items available, about 5 different things, but they are up on my store. So if you go to the website, texasundervine.com, and go to the top, you're going to see a link for the merchandise store, and there you can get your own Texas Under Vine swag to proudly show all of your friends that you support the Texas wine industry, and you can get them started on and hooked on the podcast as well, so they can go visit even more of these great wine destinations. But in addition to the store, I also have a Patreon for my subscribers, people that support this show. I do this all out of a work of love from my heart. I do not make any money on this podcast. I'm actually in the red because I support it all out of my own pocket as a teacher. And it's mainly because I love wine and I love the Texas wine industry. So if you're willing to help me do that and you'd like to see more of these great episodes, hear more from these amazing winemakers, learn more about some fun destinations for you to go and visit on your own, I would appreciate if you would be willing to subscribe to my Patreon. So at the top of my website page, again, you'll find a Become a Patron link. And there you can get all the information about becoming a subscriber to the podcast here as a Patreon subscriber. It only costs a few dollars a month if you're willing to commit that. And there are various levels that you can commit to that each give you behind the scenes benefits that you don't get. And I do have some new things in the pipeline coming down soon. So you want to get on that sooner than later. But right now you can get things like behind the scenes photos at different wineries. You can get things like at one level, you'll get a video walkthrough of the winery. So for every episode, I will post a video walkthrough of me taking you through the winery itself so you can see what it's like before you go. And then at one level, you can even find out before everyone else where I'm headed the next week on the show as it comes out. So you'll know before everyone else. You get a sneak peek. So there's just different levels of benefits and they all cost a different amount. And as you subscribe, you become the heart of this podcast. You really are what helps me succeed. You are my community and my people. And thank you so much for those that do subscribe. So if you're interested in joining Patreon, check the Become a Patron link at the top of the website. So again, the website is www.texasundervine.com. You can also go to all of my socials. I'm at Texas Under Vine on almost all the social accounts. And check it out and consider sponsoring the podcast and maybe even buying some of that really cool swag on the merchandise store. Happy trails and bottoms up, fine trippers.